Hey, what's up, you guys? This is a breaking update in the David case. The LAPD said that they are no longer releasing any information to the public, and they have locked all case files. Have you ever heard of this happening? Now, a bunch of dummies in the comments were like, oh, yay, that's good. Maybe the LAPD can finally do their job and get to the investigation, except for the fact of the LAPD right now are suspects number one. How can you say that they're doing this to keep social media from investigating when social media did all the investigating? All of the investigating. They never even brought David in for questioning. This was the man and her was found in his trunk. And you're trying to tell us you're doing this for the good of the public? Yeah, all right, sure. This was the LAPD that before the autopsy even came back, they said, we think it's an OD. Before the autopsy came back, we think it's for an OD. This is for a body that was dismembered, that they couldn't even tell whether it was a man or woman when they first found her. And now they're like, we really honestly think it was an OD. Are you effing kidding me? You guys, I am so upset over this. Lauren Conlon on Twitter, we're going to try to see if we can get her back on the channel. We did an amazing live with her last time, said breaking. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office announced that a judge has ordered a hold on all records in the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, meaning nothing can be released to the public right now, including her cause of death, autopsy filing, or any reports. The hold was requested by the LAPD while the investigation is still active, and the medical examiner says they legally cannot share anything until the court lifts that order. They do not seem happy about this. Let's actually see what they said, because why is the medical examiner not happy about this? And again, I keep going back. Who is the LAPD covering up for? Because you can't tell me they're conducting an investigation when they never, ever bothered to question the person who owned the car that the dead body. What investigation? Let's get into this. They said on 10:54 a.m. on Friday, November 21st, the County of Los Angeles Department of Medical Examiner received a court order initiated by the Los Angeles Police Department to place a security hold on medical examiner case number 2025-14252, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. No records or details associated with the case, including the cause or manner of the death, and the medical examiner report can be released or posted on the website until further notice. This also means that her family is not going to be able to actually find out something either. But hold on, let's keep going. The department's mission is to have full transparency with the community by providing information about our cases to empower people to make changes that save lives, the chief medical examiner, Dr. 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐬𝐭, said. Since becoming the department head, I've worked on eradicating the practice of placing security holds on medical examiner cases simply by law enforcement request. The practice of security holds is virtually unheard of in other counties and has not been proven to improve outcomes in the legal system. We are dedicated to serving our community with full transparency. However, the law precludes us from doing so while the court order remains in the case. The department previously received a request for a security hold from the LAPD on the case on September 15th, which was denied due to insufficient justification to warrant hold before they even questioned David, before they even had a suspect. And they're like, who could this be? While everyone is like, look at David and his friends. It's a Tesla, not reported stolen. Look at him. Who could this be? They were telling the medical examiner to lock things down. Yet, they were leaking to People magazine on record. We think it's an OD. We think it's an OD. We think something happened to her. But you're telling us that okay. And the OD was, anyway, the medical examiner goes on to say, for questions, the department understands the public's interest in the case and remains committed to transparency when possible. Information will be made available once the court order is lifted. For questions about the court order timeline and the law enforcement investigation into this death, please contact the LAPD. You guys, this is disgusting. And as I look at this, I have maintained since the beginning, you guys know, and you guys call me conspiracy theorist, but I've maintained since the beginning of this, this investigation, the way the LAPD is moving is super, super weird. And no, I'm not going to show them deference when they, to me, are not really honoring Celeste Rivas, right? And her passing. Like, let's be real. It's like, to me, it sounds like they're protecting some people. I've never, ever, and some high-profile people have died in LA. Seen the LAPD do this for any murder case ever. Something is very, very fishy about this. Also, it makes me wonder, do you guys think that other people were leaking because they were afraid that the LAPD was trying to sweep this case under the rug? Illy Lily from Philly said, what is the LAPD so afraid of the public finding out? It's not like they haven't gone out of their way to give David an alibi that his lawyers didn't even have to do. Before they even questioned him, they were giving this man an alibi. We don't think it's murder. There's a chance a crime wasn't committed. You know what? Like, we don't even know. Was she dismembered? Was she? Who said that? Then they moved into, well, we think it was an OD, so at most you cut up a body, but that's not a crime, really. I mean, maybe abuse of a corpse, but besides that, I mean, if she OD'd, and this is before they got the medical examiner reports. Anyway, Illy Lily says, it's not like they haven't gone out of their way to give David an alibi that his lawyers didn't even have to do. I've never seen the LAPD preemptively say that a body in a car that was dismembered could not make anyone criminally liable. It could have just been an overdose. Again, she says, like a certain branch of the LAPD have been acting like the David Defense Counsel since day one. And we just found out the other day through those leaks that the LAPD never even brought him in for questioning. Now, I know there's going to be some people that love to bow down to law enforcement. And I'm sure there are people in the LAPD that are doing their job. But there's a certain branch of the LAPD. What are they on? Like, what are they playing at? I honestly want to know, what exactly are they playing at? Because you're telling us, what exactly are you playing at? You're telling us you never questioned this man. You told us from the beginning, we don't even know if a crime was committed. I don't know, could have been an OD. Was she dismembered? Maybe, we don't know. People started leaking to TMZ. I'm beginning, again, I co-sign with Illy Lily. Were people leaking because they thought the LAPD was about to do a cover-up and push this under the rug? And if they are, it makes you wonder why. What connections would David have? What actually happened to Celeste? I've never seen this happen in any case at all. And please stop saying, oh, the TikTok detectives, the internet. This is the era of true crime. Everybody investigates. But more importantly, like the medical examiner knows, to have this information out in the public, when you have this information out in the public, it actually gets answers quicker. More people come forward. People that might have saw something, heard something, little bits of evidence that by themselves don't add up much. When you see the community having a big discussion, it comes out. Why would they want to hide this? For what? Why? Because they told us in People magazine on record that she probably OD'd and now it looks like it didn't. Why don't they want these results out? Now, let me play devil's advocate. They could be protecting. They could be protecting the investigation. They could. But being as they never questioned the main person where her body was found, her boyfriend, or at the very least, very good friend she was living with, being as they never questioned him, being as they did a search on the home, but they still didn't, what are we talking about? You're trying to say that's how a normal investigation goes? The people that are like, I trust the LAPD. Well, I trust the LAPD for the most part, but it doesn't seem the most part is running the Celeste. It seems like the other people that we need to side-eye. Again, in the age of Trump, why this case? You didn't even close Matthew Perry's case. Lots of famous people have passed away in LA, bigger people than David, with more. They didn't even close Gene Hackman's. I've never seen this happen in the last few years for a big major case, especially not one that, as much as people want to talk shit about Redditors and TikTok detectives and people on social media, they're the reason, including TMZ and all those people, they're the reason we even know that Celeste. let us not forget that they couldn't even tell if it was a man or woman when they found that body. Celeste was so young, I don't even think she probably had dental records. And how would they know what dental records to cross? She didn't have an ID. She was a kid, right? I don't even think she had fingerprints in the system. So, right? So how they couldn't even identify. If people hadn't reached out to TMZ with anonymous tips, right? And it hadn't leaked it was David's car because the LAPD wanted to keep that quiet. And people hadn't leaked more information to TMZ. And Celeste's mom hadn't called TMZ because before that, when she was telling the LAPD her baby was missing, they were leaving her on the answering machine, leaving her on red. So she hadn't called TMZ and been like, I think that's my baby. And she called the LAPD too, but I don't think they took her that seriously. When they put it in TMZ, TMZ forced the LAPD to make the connection. They ran a DNA test and it came back positive. If all of us were not involved in this, we would not even know. It would just be some tragedy, some weird thing that happened to international superstar David while he was on tour. That's where the LAPD looked like they were ready to leave it. And it seems like they become more and more and more upset that every single day they can't keep going back to this narrative. We don't know who it is. Well, we do know who it is, but we're looking at the family. She was troubled. Okay. And now, we don't even know if a crime was committed. You don't know if David's fully cooperating. He is? Oh, great. And then we find out later, well, by fully cooperating, it means we haven't said 2 words to him. So I guess he's cooperating because he hasn't told us no, but that's it. We didn't ask him any questions for him to tell us yes to. Right? Then it went to, well, who knows if a crime was committed? She could have OD'd. The LAPD told us that somebody that they could not even tell whether it was man or woman, boy or girl, when they were found, OD'd. How would they know that? Anyway, maybe this is some convoluted criminal mastermind detective work they're doing, and they're leading us all astray, and they're doing this so they can capture their victim. Maybe. I hope that's what it is. But as of now, how when you didn't even question him? Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to you later. Bye.